What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video part today. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because for this video we'll be taking a look at a film that is highly praised within the Transformers community, and I'm talking about the original 1987 Transformers movie. With the latest Transformers movie just around the corner with Transformers Rise of the Beast, I figured let's go back to the very beginning with the movie that started it all. Also, my brother's birthday is just around the corner, so I figured I'd make this video for him. So, happy birthday, bro! Anyway, the movie came out in 1986, not 1987, so my mistake on that one. But the story is pretty much straightforward. We have Autobots versus Decepticons. One shall stand, one shall fall. And that's pretty much what we get in the first 10 minutes as we see Megatron lead Decepticons to Earth and we have Optimus Prime leading the Autobots to protect the humans. By the way, if you want to know my allegiance, I always saw myself with the Decepticons just because I love the Shockwave characters so much, but because I grew up with Beast Wars, I kind of saw myself as a Maximal instead. Also, because I grew up with Beast Wars at such a young age, I learned to imitate some of the characters, more specifically Waspinator because his voice was so funny as a kid. Oh, yes, Lord Megatron, Waspinator, Terrors! I'm available for voice acting if anybody needs me. But anyway, the movie came out back in the 80s and it's meant to serve as a follow-up to the original cartoon series that came before it. And this is where I almost started to jump off the bandwagon because I didn't grow up with the original cartoon, and seeing some of the human characters like, gee, Hot Rod, this is a nice day, let's go for a drive. You got it, little Billy, let's go for a drive. I was almost turned off, and this is when I realized that if you didn't watch the cartoon, chances are if you watch this movie right now, you're gonna be a little bit confused. Okay, getting past the negatives, let's focus on the positives, which would be the story immediately kicking things off with Megatron and the Decepticons invading Earth while Optimus Prime and the Autobots are trying to defend the humans. And I think this is the one moment that most fans will remember, but credit where credit is due, you have Optimus Prime versus Megatron with Stan Bush's most famous song, You Got the Touch, You Got the Power, playing in the background as these two are duking it out with one another. I mean, that was pretty awesome. But sadly, that is the only good thing about this movie as things take a drastic turn for the worse as Optimus Prime, spoiler alert, literally dies after the first act of the film while Megatron is left for dead floating in space. So in a movie about Autobots versus Decepticons, you decide to kill off the two faces of both factions, and the ones who are left in charge of them are Hot Rod and Galvatron? Okay, what? That's like having an Avenger movie without Steve Rogers' Captain America. In the words of Negan from The Walking Dead, now I know that is a nasty pill to swallow, but swallow it you most certainly will. Alright, fine, despite the first act of the film starting great but ending terrible, I'm sure the rest of the movie will be good, right? Right? As we get into the second act of the movie, the story starts to go off the rail as Unicron just appears out of nowhere and the whole story now becomes a road trip across the galaxy. Not only that, but the movie does not waste any moment to forcefully shove in a campy song, making a good majority of the movie a glorified music video. And we haven't even talked about the side quest the Autobots get themselves in as they get stranded on a Mad Max Fury Road planet led by the Quintessa. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. But from what my brother told me, it's the definition of a kangaroo court Autobot, or I don't know what the heck that thing was. That was just unnecessary. That character was just a waste of time, and just, again, it was meant to force in another campy song, just making this a really bad music video for the movie. Okay, let's be honest, the whole reason this movie was made was just to sell toys to kids, and I'm not gonna lie, I remember getting Unicron for Christmas, and I remember having the one Transformer that was feared by both the Autobots and the Decepticons was the coolest thing a kid could have. However, because the movie is more focused on showcasing new Transformers so that new toys can be sold, there really isn't much story. Now, I know there are some hardcore Transformer fans that would kindly disagree with me, but I'm speaking as someone whose only experience with the Transformers in terms of movies are the Michael Bay films and the Bumblebee movie. Also, I will say that while I did enjoy the first Michael Bay Transformers movie, Revenge of the Fallen, I know it gets a lot of bad credit, but it's a guilty pleasure of mine because I remember watching it as a middle schooler, and yeah, seeing Optimus Prime with jets was the coolest thing a young teenager could see. But I do admit that the rest of the franchise, or at least the Michael Bay films, is just pouring acid into someone's brain. I mean, it is just a glorified music video with, I know, a lot of sexy shots of hot girls and like these big cars transforming and the weird angles that Michael Bay decides to shoot under. Yes, I'm aware of that. I mean, I will say, though, that I did enjoy the first one, and I will guilty admit that I did like the second one. With that being said, in my opinion, the only good Transformers movie is actually Bumblebee. Why? Because Michael Bay wasn't directing it. I just had a flashback of a memory that took me back to, I think, 2016, where I remember hearing the news that before Michael Bay was kicked off Bumblebee, his original take of the movie was that he wanted to be a rated R movie. Why? Because he had just watched Deadpool. I mean, he was pretty much thinking like, I saw Deadpool, that made a lot of money, so let me make a Bumblebee R-rated film. That'll make a ton of money. Oh my god, that would have been so bad. Thankfully, that didn't come to pass. We got Travis Knight to direct the film, who was an OG Transformers fan, so that's pretty cool. So fingers crossed that Transformers Rise of the Beast is good, because we have a director who was a big fan of Beast Wars, and I cannot tell you how excited I am. I also just realized something. Just like how OG fans heavily critique the Michael Bay movies, I'm pretty sure that a lot of Beast Wars fans, including me, are going to have some high expectations going into the next movie, because growing up as a kid, seeing Optimus Prime turn into a gorilla and Megatron turn into a T-Rex was the most badass thing I ever saw. And even the opening intro was so freaking cool. I mean, it would start off like dun 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 dun, Beast Wars, dun 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 dun, Beast Wars. That was the coolest thing to grow up watching. And so, yeah, going to the theater, I'm probably going to have some high expectations that probably won't be met. But if the new movie can hit some of those expectations, hey, I'll take it. Anyway, what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, that's right, we're talking about the original Transformers movie. So overall, I enjoyed the first 20 minutes of it, and after that, the movie is easily forgettable. And normally in some of my videos, I'll say that there are some movies that have stood the test of time. Yeah, this will be the first exception. I mean, this movie did not age well. But if you are indeed a Transformers fan and you are so excited for the next installment of the franchise, then maybe you'll want to give this movie a shot, but be warned, you may want to lower your expectations. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. That was my overall review on the original Transformers movie. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button to see all the updates from this channel. I'll see you next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.